1 year ago, I posted my first YouTube video as an astrologer for people who do not believe in astrology. And then I just kept posting, sometimes more often, sometimes less. I am not thinking of stopping, but since 1 year has passed, I thought I'd take a minute to reflect on my experience, whether it confirmed or contradicted my expectations. What I like, what I don't like, how difficult it is, whether it gets easier, what my motivation is, whether it has changed. There will be no astrology in this video, so my apologies to people who are craving for some more. I will make another more astrology-centered video next week, but for now, I will allow myself to reflect on the year I have had here, and I'm hoping it may be interesting to people who would like to see a human being behind their horoscopes, as well as to those who are considering to start their own YouTube channel. I have never ever produced content in English before, which was one of the reasons for me to start the channel, actually. It is not, however, my first experience in being filmed while reading forecasts. A few years back, when I still lived in Russia, I was picked up by the kind people in the Condé Nast publishing house and offered to be the video astrologer for the Glamour magazine channel. I said yes, and that was a risky move because the thing is, I was terribly uncomfortable in front of any camera. I could talk to people, I could work an audience, no matter the size of the crowd, I could do it if the task was to be talking to people. But the moment I needed to address the camera, it was like everything in my body just froze. And I'm talking from experience. There was this one time when I was asked to give some very simple advice to new mothers regarding some light exercise that's possible, that's safe postpartum. There was a director, there was the camera person present, the lights person, the sound person, the makeup person, and they did their job. But when the time came for me to speak, I just couldn't. I just physically couldn't get any meaningful words out. And so when the Glamour magazine found me, I said yes to getting into the same situation, not just once more, but on a regular basis, which is something that I'd recommend to do if you have a similar problem. And also something I would do again if I had the opportunity. It took me a whole year and a half of working with the kind and patient people of Condé Nast to get rid of my problem. A year and a half. This is how slow it went with me. So the first videos were ambitious and looked kind of fun, but I can tell you, I was dying there. My brain wasn't working. I didn't know where to place my hands, how to stand, how to look. People who have a huge problem with cameras know what I'm talking about. After about half a year, I stopped dying. I still felt terrible. I also felt terrible for the people who had to tolerate me and help me. After a year, I started getting the hang of it a little bit. After a year and a half, the program was cancelled. And so I was a little bit disappointed, but I took so much from this experience. Learning that one doesn't have to be a natural to learn how to work in front of the camera is invaluable. Then it was also the experience of stretching myself beyond my comfort zone and also valuable. So I was empowered. It's such an unserious thing, but for my personal development, it was an important turning point. Well, since then, I have immigrated to Germany, got a master's degree in neurosciences. I married, I moved once again within Germany with a child. And I decided to try doing astrology for the more international audience, seeing that I'm not living in Russia anymore. There's no reason to be limited by the Russian language. So I started this channel. I couldn't make it on a professional level, didn't have the skills, didn't have the resources to hire people. So it was either I make it like this as a beginner or I don't. And this is how I wish people did things more often, just starting. Not because I think it's necessarily better, but because this is how you get experience. And as a viewer, I also appreciate it when one can track the creator's progress. And so right from the start, it was important to me to be honest about my attitude to astrology, which is I enjoy it a great deal. I find the ideas it helps create exciting. I do not believe in it as a tool for prediction. But I also enjoy it more when I pretend to believe in it while doing it. It's like when you watch a fantasy or a sci-fi TV show, suspension of disbelief makes it more enjoyable. And most of my clients have always been people who didn't believe in astrology, but were able to put their disbelief aside for the consultation to enjoy it more and then to take it back and own it. So I wanted to connect with similar people, but in English. I'm not sure I was successful. I have my thoughts about why. I'll talk about it more in the part where I talk about what I couldn't do, but I'll start with what I did do. So in my first video, I talked about my approach to astrology as a non-believing astrologer, and I still think what I said there, but I'd like to make an updated version on the topic because there is so much more to say about why astrology may be interesting and even good for people who don't believe in it. Moving on. Then I started this series called Adulting by the Zodiac that I still love. I think it's perfect for beginners. Is it perfectly executed? Hell no. But I think the idea behind it is so exciting that I recommend watching it if you haven't yet. The idea behind the series is this. So, if you're in Aries, it means that you were born with the sun in Aries in your natal chart. But also as you grow up, your sun in Aries progresses slowly into the next sign and then the next sign. And then in total, over the course of a normal lifetime, you get to live as 3 or 4 signs while still being sun in Aries. So if you know your sign and your birthday, which everyone does, in this adulting video about your sign, you can find out which other sign era you are living at the moment and what that means. So for example, Gemini people who are supposed to be carefree and unreliable, at some point experience their progressed sun going into Cancer. And this is when they are very much into getting attached to people, getting children, being very much into family living, they get sentimental. And you can say the same thing about any other sign as their progressed sun progresses into something else. Then I started expanding and started several other series so I could have some choice, so I don't have to do everything 100% according to a plan, but could instead, when it's time to make another video, have options like, do I want to make a video about what a certain planet in a person's natal chart is doing or can be helpful with? Or about how to deal with an aspect from a planet in the sky? Or about some current transit that's universally important for everyone, or about some astrological technique and what to expect when your astrologer uses it. So I have quite a few playlists and I like it. It gives me some freedom and also a sense that I can do whatever I want. So this was an idea that was a good idea and I'm happy I did it. Then I also made the forecasts for the year of 2025 and that was a hit. I'm hoping the forecast for 2026 will be even bigger, but for now this is my most successful series so far, with some video view counts in the thousands. We were on a holiday, I had a fun dress, there was a tropical garden where I was making the recordings. I also made different forecasts for people born in the different parts of the sign. So there was a different prediction for an early Aries, like different from the prediction for the late Aries, for example. 2025 is still very much happening, so give it a watch if you are curious. And then after this relative success, I decided to start making monthly forecasts, a video for each sign. This is a lot of work. I'm trying to optimize it. I haven't found a way to make it easy yet. So I have ambivalent feelings about it. And if you are watching my monthly forecasts, if you have ideas or wishes or preferences, let me know. I feel like I want to keep doing them simply because it's something I wish existed for me. So if I were someone who doesn't believe in astrology but enjoys listening to a forecast for my sign, I wish such videos existed. So I'm making them for this imaginary version of myself that doesn't know how to make them. But again, it takes me about 2 days, more than full time, to make one such monthly chunk of forecasts. And then I'm exhausted. So if you think of how to make it worth it, how to make it more valuable, more interesting to you, let me know. I am open to suggestions here. I know that everyone says that shorts are the key to promoting one's channel, and sometimes I feel like recording something short and then I'll do it, but doing it systematically is not something that I enjoy. I'll see how it goes. For now, I'll probably leave it as that, just doing one when I feel like it. And now to what I got out of this 1 year long experience. So thing number one is I have more confidence producing content in English, which makes sense. The more experience you have, the more confidence you earn. And yes, of course, I will feel more confident recording videos on other topics in English from now on. Then there's even more confidence in front of a camera. I'm also very comfortable using my face as a tool. So since this is not a performative video, but more of a reflection time video, I tried to not make any effort. But in general, the way I look in the videos, when I do make an effort, it's not how I see myself, but I'm comfortable using that image to deliver the forecasts. That's cool. I also got a really good recommendation to start using a prompter. So when I write a text in advance, then more often than not, I use a teleprompter. When I just ramble like I do right now, I do not use a teleprompter. Another cool thing that I got out of this year is experience with slowly growing a channel. I feel that in the modern time, when we are trained to get everything very quickly with pressing the button or buying something or purchasing something, having more of those experiences where you have to work consistently and put in the effort day after day or week after week, as it is in my case, is healing for the soul. You know, like growing tomatoes on the balcony or a garden or growing muscle. So this is my gardening, growing the channel. The cool thing is also that it got easier. It now takes less time than in the beginning. And then also I can restore after recording and editing and uploading a video faster than in the beginning, unless it's this monthly 12 video batch, which is still very hard on me. But I've also had some frustrations and disappointments and things that I was hoping for and I didn't get. And number one thing that I didn't get from a year of uploading the videos is almost no new clients. I had a handful of clients, like I could count them on my one hand. And it was an amazing experience doing consultations with them. But, this is not enough to make it financially sustainable. So if you are considering booking a consultation from me, but you're not sure and you have doubts, could you write me a message and we'll talk about those doubts? I'm really, really careful to not push people to book a consultation from me, but I would be very interested in learning what the doubts are. Frustration/disappointment number two is that I have not monetized the YouTube channel yet. So there are 2 tiers for how you can monetize. The first tier I can do already, but it is not something I want to do, because then I have to ask people to, send me some presents. Like, it's more interactive. The other tier, which is just being paid for the ads that's shown during, so while people are watching my videos, is what I can do. I'm not there yet. It looks like I will be there after a couple of months, but that would be a year and a couple of months of working on the channel before I get there. I'm also still not comfortable with shorts. I'm not sure I want to get very comfortable, very good with the shorts. Also not very good in using the other YouTube promotion tools. So I don't feel enthusiastic about using the formats that I don't really enjoy doing. And I'm still not convinced that I have to. Another thing I didn't do. So my editing is super basic. I didn't do anything fancy. But again, maybe I am okay with it for now. What I think I'm still not good at is getting better at structuring a script, at making it more engaging, easier to watch. So I feel that I have some room for improvement in this area. And this is something that I actually want to improve on. And then finally, I wish I had more feedback from you guys. I wish I had more interaction. So truly, if you have thoughts, if you have wishes, if you have comments, if you have preferences, if you have advice, if you have a kind word, or if you maybe want to hate on me, I want that as well. And I also wanted to talk about motivation. So what keeps me going? I am motivated because I'm still looking to find my crowd of people who enjoy astrology as much as I enjoy astrology without necessarily believing in it. I have a clientele of those people who speak Russian, but not among the English-speaking crowd, not yet. So if you like my approach and if you can suggest a way to promote this channel, I'm all ears. Write me a message, an email, a comment. Another thing that I find motivating is that I see some progress and I'm taking it easy, but it's still addictive to see how you are getting better, how there is a growth in subscriber numbers, how there's a growth in views, etc. One of the most important motivating forces in my life is to do what I wish people did. And I'm not seeing others doing what I'm doing, so I'm going to keep doing it for a while at least. So here's a little bit on what to expect from me, from the channel in the next couple of months. I will continue the series I have started. There's still so much more to do there. Then I'm also making a renewed Volume 2 video on astrology for non-believers. I did a lot of research, I have new ideas, very excited about that. Then I also have a group where we explore Venuses in different signs. We're on Cancer now because Venus is in Cancer now. And I have collected so much material about Venus in other signs. And this is the approach that I have been missing to Venus. So I'll just do it because nobody else does it. And I think that this is how it's supposed to be done. Not now, because I'm still in the process of collecting information and inspiration and images for Venus in different signs. But in a few months, I will surely start putting out those Venus videos. Then there will also maybe be another channel with different astrological material that I will maybe be making with some other more professional people. It will be more of a guilty pleasure. I hope it works, but I cannot say anything about it now. So I'm excited about doing all of that. And I also wish I had more interaction. I want to meet more like-minded people. I want more collaboration with other astrologers who are not put off by my non-believing perspective. And I also wish I did more live events. I live in Germany, so if you are planning an event where a non-believing astrologer like myself is appropriate to entertain people, send me a message. Well, that was it. It's Not very interesting, but I wanted to leave it here so I could return to it as things change. I also feel it's important to share and be open about my experience so that people who want to invest their time and effort into working on a YouTube channel have realistic expectations. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's experience will be similar, but maybe if you watch a handful of these videos, you may get a more realistic picture. With that, I thank you for your company and your attention, and hopefully see you in the next videos.